Hello, I'm Claudia Tay from BeHealing.com. Welcome to Psychic Cafe. This is the last time I'm going live today. Yes, this is the last time I'm going live today, but it's also the last time I'm going live this week. I won't be on Friday because I've got to go to the dentist tomorrow and I won't be back by Friday morning from there because it's on the other island. So getting more surgery done, another implant tooth out the back because one of my teeth has started moving. We don't want that, so I'm getting another implant. And they're starting the work tomorrow for that, so I will be away. But I'll be back on Monday next week for sure. So today I'm going to be doing some channeling about getting into good relationships, and I will also be giving mini reads as well. If you're on here live with me, you can get a mini read if you want. Check out that pinned comment, the comment that's pinned up top of the live chat. Hey Maria, it tells you how to get a mini read. In there is by donation. In there is a link, a PayPal link for your donations, but you can also use Super Chat or Super Sticker here on YouTube if you want, if that's easier for you. After you've done your donation, put a capital Q at the start of your question with your start of your comment with your question in for your reading. Hey Rodo, Karen. Hey Karen. Put a capital Q at the start of your comment with your question in for your reading so I can find it easily amongst the comments. So let's get some cards out for the collective about getting into good relationships. How was your Valentine's Day, by the way? I didn't have the best day yesterday. It was nothing to do with Valentine's, just stuff. Nothing major. Just wasn't as joyful as my usual days are. But I had a blood pressure checkup and it wasn't good again, so I can't exercise less than I'm doing. I can't exercise less than once a day, so I'm just going to have to go back on meds. It's to do with menopause, I know that it is. But yeah, I can't do more than I'm doing. Nothing happened. Nothing going on. Let's see what the guys have to say. I can't even remember what they said on Monday. I forget these shows so much. It's like I get it when I'm in it. And I think it applies to me when I'm in it. And then like later on in the day I'll go, what was I talking about this morning? Because, I do a lot of readings after this too. And I can never remember. Sometimes I have to listen to myself. What was I talking about on Monday? Tell me, people. Do you remember? What are we talking about today? Six of Cups, reminiscing the past. Okay. Reminiscing on the past is the Six of Cups. I wonder why we're doing that. Saw my friend yesterday. She's not doing so great at the moment. It's tricky. It's tricky. The relationship that she's in, it's not good, and it's not going to be good either because they're not talking to each other, and she's as bad as him. She doesn't realize it. She will not talk. He will not talk. It's a big mess. Can't have good relationships without talking about the difficult stuff, about, the emotional stuff, the stuff that you don't want to talk about. With the Page of Wands, someone that started something passionate. So reminiscing on someone that started something passionate with you. So it was a passionate start. So lust, or it was very much the beginning of something. Feels like it didn't go very far to me. Well, it could be many, right? Page of Wands. Something that started off as an attraction, passion, didn't go very far. It's pretty much all of them for me. How about you? The Moon. You didn't know. You didn't know if it could. You didn't know. You don't know. You didn't know if it could become anything more than it is. Undetermined. In the shadows. You're not sure. Not clear whether it could have been more. But there's hope there. There's hope that it could be more. Interesting. So we're talking about something in the past that happened. Something and nothing, not very much. Might have been a few dates, might have been just talking to someone, but there was an attraction there and passion there. But very much the beginning stages. You weren't sure whether it could come into something more. That means exactly what I say. You just weren't sure. It wasn't that you were thinking this can't be anything more, or this is definitely going to be something more. It's the very much in the unknown. It could be, might not be. But there's some hope there. So kind of a wish that it would progress to something more. Sound familiar? Sounds familiar to me. I'm having to moisturize my hands because my coffee cup nearly slipped out my hands because my fingertips are so dry. I'm having trouble with my fingertips, and I think it's because I do gel nails myself, because when I put the clips on them with the acetone in to take off the old stuff, it really dries my skin out. And it's actually changing because it's cracking them up. It's changing my fingerprint, and I use this fingerprint to unlock my iPad and to unlock this iMac, and it's having trouble now recognizing me fingerprint. Can't get into my stuff. It's no good, hey? And I don't want to lose my coffee either. Okay, so you're hopeful that it could turn into more, or you were hopeful that it was going to turn into more. And what? And what now? Chariot. And like move ahead and get moving and all of that stuff. Did anyone get a Valentine's? I didn't. In fact, I think I remembered I remembered in the morning because I kind of did get a Valentine's. I sent him a picture, a happy Valentine's Day picture, and he replied to that, so I guess that's something. The Chariot, wanting it to move forward. The Wheel of Fortune. Fated. It's kind of a hope that it's going to be fated. Or fate takes you in that direction. The wheels turn so that it can progress to something. Look how many major arcanas. 4. 4 in a row. It's quite something. Morning, Connie. Anyone want a mini read? 3 of Cups, a reunion, hoping for a reunion. You hope that the wheels of fate turn such that you can come back together and get going and see if it could become more. So this is someone from your past. It was something and nothing really, a few dates or whatever. Starting something off, a passionate start, interested in it becoming more, but you're not sure whether it can be or not. You're hoping that the wheels of fate bring you back together so you can pursue this. So that it brings you back together so that you can, pursue this, like I said. Carry on getting to know them. Sounds like my story. That's better. That's not going to slip out of my hand anytime soon. So tell us more about this then. What's in this story? Tell us why the gap then. Why the gap? Let's see what I said. I said about changing timelines and manifesting something. Happy where we are. Transformation. Something about emotions. And big change. Changing timelines. What did I say last time? Changing timeline. Phoenix rising. Gotta keep going. Can't remember what it was about. So, we're in this not particularly limbo place, it's just an open place thinking, but yeah, I would quite like to continue pursuing that thing from the past, that thing, that person, that thing I had with that person from the past. I'd quite like to continue pursuing that. Tell us more about this, please, guys. Why do you want us to know about this? That didn't come out properly. So I think my friend's coming away with me to the other island tomorrow, which should be good for her to have a bit of a break. Not sure it's going to be good for me to have a bit of a break from all that crap. Five of Earth is about persisting with something, not giving up, holding hope, carrying on. Water is stronger than rock because of its persistence. Seems that there's a new start coming up. Summerland's the Fool. It's interesting because I was putting all these cards the right way around, and they were all the right way around apart from the Fool card. The Fool card has already shown itself to me. Fool card is about new starts. It's about taking a risk into the unknown now. It's like leaping into the unknown. There's not going to be any guarantees with this one. But there's something about persistence to keep investing or something like that. Tell us more. Keep investing, it'll be worth it. Keep investing and then a leap of faith. The Wheel of the Year. Things come in cycles. So the Wheel of Fortune again. Things getting moving. Perhaps bringing you back together. Ready for a new start. To leap into something and take a risk. Keep investing in something. Be ready to take a risk. Wheel of Fortune will start turning. And then the Circle, which I can never remember what it's about. The Circle. I should really remember this one. I think I'm annoyed yet because of yesterday, because it's mostly because of the hospital thing, because it's quite difficult for me. I've pared down my exercise as much as I possibly can without really being annoyed by it. And I am annoyed by it already. I want to be doing more exercise than I'm doing at the moment. And after all of that sacrifice, my blood pressure is really high still. It's like, what is the point? I might as well just be doing what I want to and taking drugs to bring it down. The Circle. Hey, Deborah. Circle. You know, it's when you put a lot of effort and you're trying to sort it out. So to the doctor, like, what else can I do? He says, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? You're doing everything right. What else can I do? It just doesn't come down. Unless I take 5 days off work and 5 days off work and off training, of everything, because in the new year, that did it. That brought it down. I can't live life like that doing nothing. How can I do that? No work, no training? That's not going to make a healthy me. That's going to make a very unhealthy me. Cannot do that. For the sake of what? Blood pressure? No, I'm going to have to take drugs. So yeah, maybe I should just not hold myself back on the exercise anymore. I'm sure it's got to do with menopause, and of course doctors don't know the first thing about menopause. They're not taught about it at all. They don't have any training at all in menopause. They don't know the first thing about it. Crazy. So the Circle, this is why. There's nothing about it. It just says about creating sacred space. Morning, Sarah. Creating a safe and clean environment, setting boundaries, focusing exclusively on the spiritual for a time. This is why I can't remember it. Well, let me read it a little bit. A circle is a sacred space that you create for any spiritual work that you do. A sacred space can be created anywhere. Think of it as a metaphorical cauldron. A cauldron is a place that holds ingredients, keeping what you want all in one place, while making sure unwanted materials do not mix in. Like our skin, really. On another level, it's also a place of transformation. Your sacred space is the temple where you work with the energy you invite in and form a boundary that separates you from unwanted energy. Oh, interesting. It's about boundaries then. While in your space, you expect revelations and experiences, you expect transformation. These expectations are a form of intent. Creating a sacred space is important, but not difficult. Okay, it's about sacred space then. So, especially when we're talking about relationships, so important to know ourselves and have our boundaries and all of that and know who we are and what our stuff is. Inviting someone into that sacred space. It's like, okay, you can be in relationship with me. Not losing any of those boundaries. Knowing where we start and the other one begins, right? Knowing what is our stuff and what's their stuff. Sometimes I wonder, talked to my friend yesterday. They've been together a very long time. 18 years. And hearing about it, I'm like, how did they even manage 18 years? They can't even talk to each other. What the hell? How? You'd expect they'd have some kind of really good relationship skills, right? If you can last that long. But no. Wow. We need to have really good relationship skills here and self skills to have our boundaries. When someone comes in, so that we don't morph into them or we don't open our boundaries up, so we still know who we are. So we're going to take a risk on a relationship, apparently. It kind of flows our way. But we need to be certain of ourselves, our boundaries, not losing ourselves, our balance. Instead of just getting into a relationship and kind of losing ourselves. We don't want to do that again. Okay. Mercury. Communication. There he is. Communication. Oh my God, it's so important. I talk to him. I can't. There's no point. You'll just go, I'm like, that's kind of what you're doing at the moment. I like get their heads, bang them together. They need relationship counseling, those two. But, it's like, I recognize like old me would have had a relationship like that too. Mercury. The Roman god called Mercury was known for, amongst other things, delivering messages between gods and goddesses and mortals. Astrologically, this Mercury deals with how we think and reason as well as how we communicate, including writing, speaking, and listening. By extension, it also governs how we gather and process data. 2 of 5 represents the importance of communication. Not just any communication. Like I remember when we had couples therapy, guidance, whatever it was, from a Catholic priest. How would they know about relationships? Anyway, Catholic priest, before we got married, we only had one session, and it's like, oh, you've lived with each other and you're already doing it, so you know more than me. But I think he talked about communications. You talk to each other. Well, yeah, of course we talk to each other, but we didn't really. He was saying that, not knowing what he was talking about, because he's not had a relationship, because he's a Catholic priest, and they're not allowed. So how would he know about it? We were asked, do we talk? Yeah, we talk. We talk about the shopping. We talk about work. We talk about, but we didn't talk about deep emotional stuff. We didn't have those difficult conversations. We didn't have them. And that's what this is talking about, the importance of the difficult communications and going there. Either there's something that must be said or something that must be heard. Yeah, it's those conversations we don't want to have. That's what it is. The ones we shy away from. Now, you might be shying away from having those conversations with other people, like your friends and stuff. Confrontations. Who shies away from confrontations here? I used to. I don't anymore. I will say it now. I never used to have the confidence to do that. I was always afraid of the results of that, you know. The surrounding cards will help identify which way the communication needs to go. Right, it's about boundaries. About boundaries. You need to communicate your boundaries. That's very important. What else do we need to communicate? Stop them. Stop it. Oh, one card. It's better. The world. The world is about leveling up. It's about the things that you've learned. This is about, right, coming into a relationship, you know yourself, you know the things that you've learned. As you come into a relationship, you're only going to get into a relationship with someone who is of the same, aren't you? Someone that's been learning about themselves. They know what it is that they've learned and all of that kind of thing. They know themselves. Please don't get into a relationship with people that haven't done the inner work. It's just not worth it. It's not going to be good. So there's no point in doing it. And so the communication needs to be about that. Now, it could run both ways. Just because we've done the work doesn't mean we know everything, right? Because it's just been about our experience. And just because they've done the work doesn't mean that they know everything as well. We need to be open in a way to learn from the other. Sharing what we've learned, but being open to learn from what they've learned too, is what I'm getting from that. So the kind of conversations, the world card is about, like, I had those experiences and those experiences and those experiences, and I learned this from it, and so this is why I make these decisions now in my life, that kind of thing. And then I'm going, well, I've had these experiences and these experiences, which is a little bit different, and probably the other side or another perspective on same stuff as you have been through, and they learn something different from it, and then sharing that together, you can get more from it. So the communication needs to be about that. So you're not like digging your heels in and going like, I will not be moved in this relationship, because that wouldn't be a relationship, that would be a dictatorship. But the communication still needs to be about what you've learned, and they're not stupid just because they've not learned the same thing as you. What else? Elemental of air. It seems like a lot of lessons to me. Elemental of air. Couldn't be bothered washing my hair this morning because I washed it yesterday after training, because so busy at training. Oh my God, there was 18 people there, 6 trainers, 18 of us. It was crazy. There was hardly any space to stand up in between rounds. Elemental van blows a bit of fresh insight into a situation. Yeah, there's a potential for it to help cut to the chase and resolve things, or add layers of complication. Be aware of it and use it as best you can. So when you bringing a thinking person in relationship, someone that has done the work too, they're going to have learned different lessons than you. There's going to be a bit of contention there, and you're both going to have to learn from each other. Neither one being right. Now, this is where a relationship that's a dictatorship, where you're the only one that has done the work and you know better than them all the time, is kind of more comfortable, because what you say goes, because you're the one that knows, and they're not, and they're just stupid, right? But that's not what we've got here. We've got different perspectives coming about from what they've learned. Okay. All manner lessons for you. Yeah. Relationships. Trickiest lessons ever. Three of Water, and the Ten of Earth. Three of Water. Do you know it's a happy time of plenty? There's not just enough, but more than enough. Enough to put by for a bit rainy day. Having something set aside gives a sense of security that makes the present even more enjoyable. Right, it's going to be good. It's not all of this hard communication stuff, but there is going to be stuff that comes up where you're going to be challenged in what it is that you've learned, the things that you're pretty sure of, because you had so many lessons about it, and you learned from it, and then it started working for you. And that's what the universe does. As soon as we declare that we know something, as soon as we're like, I am this, or I know this, we're showing a different perspective. It's like, are you sure? You're sure you know this? Happy days, but different perspectives. And Ten of Earth. Because when we're by ourselves and we've just got our one perspective and we've learned from what we've learned, we get ourselves to that really happy, comfortable place. No one's rocking our boat, and we're sure that we've got it all, like we know. Just we know. Got close to the truth, close to enlightenment because it's working so well for us. Throw a relationship in the mix. Perhaps you don't know as much as you thought. The Ten of Earth denotes a special awareness of the balance of time. There's an appropriate time and place for what you want to do. Right now you're able to tap into the universal flow and know exactly when that time is. Honor what you know to be true and practice patience, as you may be tempted to move ahead of time. So, this is something that we've got to persist with. We need to take a risk on it, yes. You need to know what your boundaries are and all of that kind of thing, and communicate that and what it is that you've learned, but you also need to be open to other perspectives. It's going to be a good time, but it's also going to be challenging, and there's going to be a time for everything. And for some of us, I think these kind of relationships could only come about in maturity, old age. That's what we are now. Should we get miserable ladies or something else? Now let's do Starchild for a change. There's Venus on the bottom of the deck again. She's often on the bottom of the deck, that one. The attractive one that is Venus. Attracting all kinds of things. It's funny looking at all of the Valentine's things on Facebook this morning. Saw some yesterday, like people my friends taking the photos of the flowers and stuff like that. And my friend had taken a video. I didn't watch the video, but the thumbnail for the video was part of the video, of course, and it was like a heart-shaped box of chocolates. But next to it on the table was a cardboard tray thing of hot chips. Hot chips Valentine's Day. Nothing says I love you like a tray of hot chips. They just don't want a relationship. After 7 months they quit. 7-month curse. Really? Okay. That's interesting, isn't it? Some of them just don't want to invest. It's not worth it for them. They can get what it is that they want without doing a relationship. Yeah. It's like once you have to make an effort. They don't want to do that. So, yeah, I guess there's a lot of men that are just not wanting to make any effort in relationships. Some of them do, though. Not many. Too many women let them get away with it. There's too many women doing it all. Too many codependent women doing it all for them. So why would they make an effort if they can get their relationship needs met without meeting the woman's relationship needs? Why would they do it? No need. Gotta watch out for that. Don't meet their relationship needs if they're not meeting yours. The Nine of Swords. Da, da, da. The Nine of Swords. Not good. It's anxiety. Nine of Swords. Let's read it. This book is amazing. Nine of Swords indicates a state of inner disharmony and habitual worrying. Oh, habitual worrying. It can also reflect anxiety, insomnia, or psychological fear. I don't have insomnia at the moment. I do wake up to pee, and it's hard for me to get back to sleep. I did get back to sleep, but a weird thing happens now. It never used to be like this, but it happens to me now, and it's just a recent thing. You know, when we're doing rapid eye movement, it goes from side to side really fast, and that's when we're dreaming. When I wake up from that, I'm not fully awake yet. My eyes are still moving from side to side. They're closed, but I can see the side to side movement. It's weird. And I know that I'm awake, but I know that I'm also asleep and in REM, and I want to get back into that. I want to fall back to sleep. I don't want to be fully awake. And it's just annoying seeing my eyes shifting from side to side. Does anyone else have that experience? It's I've never had it in my life before, but it's just a recent thing. I don't like it, but at least I know what it is. It can also reflect anxiety, insomnia, or psychological fear, with deceits of the imagination that are hindering your overall health and perspective. Things may not necessarily be as bad as you think, or perhaps you're being too hard on yourself. Seek counsel and connect with people you love. If there's an issue that's bothering you, address it head on in order to release the attachments you've made. Yes. If there's an issue that's bothering you, address it head on in order to release the attachments you have made. What a sentence that is. So if something bothers you, you need to talk about it. Something's bothering you, you need to talk about it. But why do you need to talk about it and address it head on and go there? It's to release the attachments that you've made. It's to release what you've made it into. Woo. This card may also indicate that it will be important for you to stop worrying about others and their views or opinions. Know that you deserve to be happy, and that positive outcome is closer than you think. Fears and illusions. So in other words, we're a bit crazy in relationships and we make shit up in our heads. And we're going to confront it, and then there's no issue in the first place. It was just our thoughts about that. The High Priestess. There we are. She knows. She's got a crystal ball. She knows. She's the bearer of magic, spiritual teachings, and inner knowledge. She has a deep understanding of the higher realms of consciousness and acknowledges the universal balance of light and dark energy. This card indicates an awakened spiritual or psychic awareness and encourages you to make time for introspection and meditation. It's also advised that you listen to your intuition and dreams and reflect on the feelings and visions you experience each day. I was organising a fight night. I was hand-making a poster for it because the posters hadn't come through, and I was sorting out everyone getting on the train to the event thing. And then when we all got to the event thing, the place where it was like an auditorium, and everyone had kind of gone to the bottom corner because the ring was down below. You couldn't see it from everywhere in the auditorium. And then just before it started, it's like on hydraulics, and the stage raised up, and then everyone could see it. And then the people that were all crouched in that corner kind of thing were in the wrong place then, and everyone was moving back. What the hell? I did buy a ticket for fight night on Saturday night, yesterday. But I'm not organising it. Anyway, I don't think it's talking about those dreams. Well, perhaps about organising that. Introspection and meditation. It's also advised that you listen to your intuition and dreams and reflect on the feelings and visions you experience each day. Reflect on the feelings and visions you experience each day. It is the understanding of your highest purpose and potential through attaining a balance between your physical and spiritual self. That's what it is. That's what this card is out for. That's what I was feeling, is we're tuned in to the spiritual, but that doesn't mean we know everything about the material. You know, it reminds me, I had this message a while ago, and there's one time, ages ago, in my business, a customer would get readings from me. She was a nurse. I used to attract a lot from nurses back then. I don't know why, but she was a nurse, and she get readings from me. She contacted me one time. Oh, I was doing this business course called Thrive with Ali, somebody or other, and implementing some of what Ali was teaching me. Very successful lady at the time, and this nurse had kind of cottoned on and noticed that there's changes happening in my business. She got in touch with me, this long email, what she thought I should do in my business. It was so bizarre, because it was like she was trying to give me business advice, right? And I knew she's not a businesswoman. So I pointed it out to her, like, I'm doing a business course with this coach who's really successful. I get my business advice from people that have got more successful businesses. And I was very much, I was doing courses, and always had a coach at that time, and would go from one to the other kind of thing as I was growing my business. Yeah, and I pointed out to her, you're not a business coach. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I didn't ask for this. You're not a business coach. I've got a business coach, thanks. And this is just like wrongly placed. And she said, but I think we've all got something to teach each other. It's like, well, that's kind of true in some kind of a way, but you can't just walk into a hospital and then teach somebody you don't know, right? You don't know, and this is a problem that we've got. Like I was saying on Wednesday, the age of misinformation. We've got people out there, like TikTok is worse for it than ever, but YouTube's pretty bad too. Of people that they don't know, they haven't got the education in it, but then they go like, oh, this is bad, and talk about it like they know about it, and they don't. They haven't got any education about it at all. We've got to know. So what I'm trying to say in this is, we've got to know our place in the spiritual and the material. We've got things to learn from people about the material, even if they don't have the spiritual sorted out. So even if somebody has no emotional maturity at all, they can still teach us how to build a wall. But someone with emotional security, emotional intelligence, and someone that's tuned in to their source doesn't necessarily that doesn't mean that they can teach us about money, investments, or business, or building a wall, right? We've got to know our place in it. And what that means is, in relationships, there's an element of both, of the material plane and also of the spiritual. And just because we've got this spiritual stuff down pat doesn't mean that we've got the physical stuff, the material part of relationships down pat. It's always a way, it's always a mixture of the both, of the spiritual and of the material. It's like with abundance, you can learn about your mindset, do all of that work and be focused on the right things. It's still not going to come about unless you do the actual practical stuff to invest your money or grow a business or get a job or work on your career or whatever else. It's a mixture of the two. What you bring to a relationship isn't everything, and it shouldn't be everything. And we've got to be open to learning what we don't know from the other one. I think that's what it's saying. Seriously, that's weird. The Four of Wands, the marriage card, the stability, stable relationship, huh? Four of Wands. Success. You've reached a period of stability after all of your hard work. This may also denote a time for repose or recovery after certain challenges or hardships are finally passed. It's interesting what I was getting from that card, because my guides, I learned a lot from those business people, but my guides said, always come to us first. Whenever I've got too in the material world about my business, too in control of it, without doing the meditation, without connecting in with my guides for what to do next, it hasn't worked for me. And I've had to I have to keep on going back to my guide. So it is a mixture of the both, for sure. For one, success. You've reached a period of stability after all of your hard work. This may also denote a time for repose or recovery after certain challenges or hardships have finally passed. There's much to look forward to, so don't forget to give yourself permission to rest and rejoice. With this outpouring of positive energy, it's also an ideal time to organise celebratory gatherings with family members and loved ones. Can we not? That doesn't sound like fun. An emergence of peace and happiness is on the horizon. As you understand the process and payoff of working hard toward your goals, you're able to nurture your loving relationships with others and bring wisdom and abundance into the lives of people around you. That was part of my dream too. Yeah. After everything you've been through, your priorities are crystal clear. Nice. I like this. What this is saying is, when we get that balance right of the... So what is it? The balance of the material world and the spiritual world. We're kind of getting it now in these, in a way, in Psychic Cafe. It's because they're telling us, you got to choose better. They're telling us about the physical stuff, right? You got to choose better and all of that. But how can you help someone in their life tune? It's not about you tuning in for them. We can teach people the material stuff, right? But we've each got to tune in to the spiritual for ourselves and the path for ourselves. That's very important. And it's the same in a relationship too. You can't tune in for your other person. That's what it is. You can't tune in for your other person. They've got to tune in for themselves. It's got to be someone that's got that spiritual connection themselves. You can't heap high priestess for them. I can't do it. I can do readings and I can help people out, and hopefully I'm helping you to tune in for yourself. I don't want ever to be the one that does it for you, kind of thing. I hope that by doing it for you, it's just confirming it to you that you know these answers yourself, and that you when you are tuning in, it's confirmation, kind of thing. But in relationship, some of us can think that we know what's best for the other person, and we can't tune in for them. We can help them with the material stuff, so what we've learned ourselves, but we can't tune in for them. We can't tell them what their path is. Just so many people do that. Like, this is what that other, have a problem in a relationship, or someone doesn't want to be with them, and it's like, this is what they should be doing. Well, we can't say that because everyone's on a different life path. You know what? You're here to learn because you're learning it, right? You're here to heal. You're here to change these things. You don't know if that person is here to do that. They might have just come into your life because they're going to be holding that one energy. They're not here to sort that stuff out. They're here to do something completely different in the world, learn about something else. They're just holding that one energy for you. They come into your life and you're like, what they should do is this. They should be learning the same thing that I'm learning. But it's not true. So we have to let them be on their own life path while tuning in for our part of it, but also be open to seeing their perspective and learning from them, especially about the material stuff, but also about the stuff that we've learned, the stuff that we've been through, wisdom that we've got. There's some wisdom that kind of is across the board, right? Ooh. Four of Swords, giving it a rest. So what are you learning, Connie, with that? The 7-month relationships? 7 years for me. I don't seem to have any particular timing at the moment recently. It was 7 years, 7-year relationships, 6 or 7-year relationships, and 2 years was another one as well. Some things would only last 2 years. But it's been very different lately. It's just been much shorter. Four of Swords often highlights an opportune time to retreat from the stress and chaos of the world. If you've been experiencing any setbacks or difficulties, take a moment to reflect and meditate on the issues at hand. You'll need this time to recuperate and revitalize yourself in order to face or resolve the potential challenges that may return. Brace yourselves. Take a break. This pause will help to give you a fresh perspective and allow you to process the experience without feeling too pressured or rushed. Okay. A wonderful time for introspection and self-exploration. Important to rest up. I keep on getting this message from me personally. It's important to rest up at the moment. Take some time to reflect. Even though we want the good stuff, the universe is like, but the good stuff is going to come with like challenges, and you've been learning so much. And we want you to take a break. School holiday time at the moment, apparently. So even though it's going to be enjoyable, there are going to be tasks. It's been 10 years. Men just don't want long-term relationships. Some of them do. A lot of them don't. Why do people want relationships? Companionship. Well, we can get that anyway, can't we? Sex, we can get that anyway. They say you're not ready for it. What do they mean by that? What not ready for what? I know, yeah, men can get what it is that they want without being in a relationship. I know that. And so it's only those that want something different. What do I mean by that? The men that are doing the work on themselves, they want companionship, yes. They also want someone to learn and grow with. Some men do want that. Some men do want that. They want. A lot of men don't want the challenges. A lot of us don't want the challenges. Just want basic needs met in your relationship without the challenge. The trick is to find somebody who's doing the inner work and all of that, someone that's up for it, someone that is constantly learning and growing. They're the ones that will want a relationship. They're the ones that want something deeper. You're right, the majority don't. The majority don't want any challenges, not interested. I think life is challenging enough without getting challenges in relationships too. So people want relationships for different reasons. It's why like I know my partner, they're going to be athletic. They're going to be having their own business. If they're not doing those things, they're not the kind of person that's learning and growing. They're not the kind of person that will want a relationship. In the same way that I want a relationship. And I know to say no to most of the people. Like I was saying to my friend, just like maybe I should just give up and see what else comes along. I'm like, well, on this island, there is nobody. There is nobody. There's no decent guys to have a relationship with on this island. That's not to say that they aren't out there. They are. And sometimes they visit here. But there's none that live here that are of that mindset or anything like that. Single. There are a few. There are a handful of them that are of that mindset. One of them is married to a friend of mine. Let's see. Yeah, there are others. There are others. And they're partnered up. They say you're not ready for this, the man. You're not ready for men like that. I'm not ready for men like that. Nobody wants men like that. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away, isn't it? Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups represents a soul-searching journey of growth and transformation. Is that right? There you go. What I was just talking about. Soul-searching journey of growth and transformation. Not everyone is doing that. You can tell who is, because they're living it. Know that letting go is sometimes necessary for change. This could mean facing or healing painful memories, past relationships, or personal issues that are still exerting pressure on you. This release may foster an emotional strength to help you navigate how to use your own energy, or when you have to deal with the stress and baggage of others. After purging the unnecessary burdens in your life, you may find that you will seek a more spiritual path, a time of transition and spiritual awakening. So they want a relationship. Yeah, but there's relationships and there's relationships. They want to have someone there to have regular sex with. That to them is a relationship. That's completely different. We don't want to find those basic. That's just basic men. But you don't want to find a basic man and then convince them they want growth. What does it say? Growth and transformation and all of that, and a deep relationship and connection that they want to work on. Majority of people don't want to do that. You're not finding just anyone and then trying to convince them to do that. You've got to find the people that are already doing that in other parts of their lives. After purging the unnecessary burdens in your life, you may find that you'll seek a more spiritual path, time of transition and spiritual awakening. See, Connie, you might be going for the wrong type. You're going for the wrong type. Why are you going for that type? What's so attractive about them, and why do you think you need to change them? Is it someone else you're trying to change? Is it someone from your past? Is it a parent or something like that? Are you bringing those type in because you're kind of attracted to them, but they're not ever what it is that you want? There's relationship and there's relationship, right? What does someone like? It's important to know what someone thinks relationship is, especially marriage. I don't think it's that they get scared. I think they just got a different idea of what relationship is. Transformation. Transformation. At the tower on the bottom of the deck. Transformation. 13. Transformation represents the entry point into a new state of understanding and enlightenment. You may feel as if something major is shifting in your life. This re-evaluation of old beliefs may force you to eliminate the distractions or difficulties you've been experiencing. You see, this is reminding me too, it's like when I just stopped trying to have the relationships with all of those ones. Like you are, Connie. I just stopped. I'm like, what am I doing? These aren't my people. I'll be by myself. Put my energy into myself instead. Do this growth and this transformation in me. Stop going out with just anyone and expecting to try and do the work for them and change them into the one that wants that. Just recognize it's none of these people and be that growth and transformation myself. And then when someone comes along and recognizes that and says, hey, I'm growth and transformation too, and I find you sexually attractive, then that gives you something to go on. So re-evaluation of old beliefs may force you to eliminate the distractions or difficulties you've been experiencing, enabling you to fully grasp your highest potential. Oi! Your true priorities have been exposed and revealed for what they really are, which puts everything else into perspective. How are you going to use your time and skills from now on? Are you ready to take the next evolutionary step in your own personal growth? Be open to new opportunities that present themselves, especially if they align with your heart. This is a period of positive change, even if it appears to be daunting or frightening at first. Sometimes all we need is an extra push into an entirely new direction in order to know what we're truly capable of. New directions. What do I need to release and let go of? What's been holding me back? Yeah. New cycles, relationship shifts, and all of that kind of thing. Some of you need to be looking for something completely different. I mean, that was massive. That was when I took a step back and you see, old me thought, well, I should be able to have a relationship with anybody and make it work, and that's just not true. It's just not true. What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Messages popping up on my screen. Julia, is that you, Lisa? Is that your donation, Lisa? That says Julia on it. No, it's Julia's. Lisa, I didn't get your donation. Or I didn't get an email about it anyway. Well, let's have a look. Got Julia's. Let me just check. Lisa. Yep, I've got it. I just didn't get an email about it. Lisa. Let's do some mini reads. You see, this is why this is why I changed my thing on my Tinder. Look at the wrong camera. My blurb on the Tinder to say exactly who I am and what I'm looking for. And it's like, if you're not this, don't bother. Like, don't bother. Just don't bother. Don't bother me. And yeah, and so that's why I knew. It's like when my man messaged me that he wanted to take me on a date, like straight away. It's like, he's read it. He's read it. Yay. The others, they kind of match with me. They never message me because they're not it. They know it. So, Lisa, what did the guides say about you possibly retiring this year? Ooh, retirement. I don't think I'll ever retire. But I would have had a job, for sure. Lisa, retirement. What did they say? Oh, yes, good idea. Be with nature, expansion, yes. A lot better stuff for you in retirement. About you being out in nature. What it says, having more time. There's the hair. I feel a hair tickling me. More time to yourself, able to just be and be your natural self. Get out into nature, do more of the things that you want to do. Very good for you. I would if I worked at Wegmans. What's Wegmans? Yeah, I would if I worked for anyone. Clump of hair. Hello, Harvey. Have you checked out that pinned comment, Harvey? Comment that's pinned up top tells you how to get one of the mini reads. Probably not, because you didn't put a capital Q at the start of your comment. But it's by donation, Harvey. Just check out that pinned comment. It tells you how to do it. Yeah, well, great expansion from that. Very good for you, Lisa. Understanding and encouragement. How nice. Yeah. You'll find your way. Have you ever thought about being a coach? Because this encouragement card has got very much a coach kind of thing. Like understanding you're an encourager or something. You've got some skills. Or you've got some energy that is very good. When you've got more time for yourself, it's naturally going to expand. You've got good things coming. It's not the end. Yeah, I can fully see you doing like your own thing after that. It's a massive flagship grocery store. Oh, after COVID. I'm so busy now, I don't think it's ever going to get quiet again. It's usually gone quiet by now, but we're still in high season. It's crazy out there. Too much. I get it. No one's been on holiday for so long. I think it's going to be like this all year. Oh, I got time to write. Beautiful. Yeah. And to give yourself that, and just to be around people as well. You might find that you're very good at something, especially around encouragement of other people. You might end up you get into teaching or coaching or something like that. It feels very relaxed to me. Oh, excellent, Lisa. Yes, absolute yes to that. Julia, spiritual advice. Thanks for your donations, guys. Spiritual advice for you, Julia. Okay. Oh, you're one of those. Including people all the time, huh? And you got to zip it instead. You're the one that just kind of includes everyone. Don't want to leave everyone out. Invite everyone along, kind of thing. And it's not good for your energy being that. I mean, it's kind of nice that you're that for other people, but you don't need to do that. Where is it coming from? Why do you need to feel the need to include everyone? Is it because you weren't included yourself at some point and you never want anyone to feel like that? Which is kind of nice, isn't it? It's kind of a nice thought. It's like, well, I'll be the one that includes everyone and never leaves everyone out because I don't want anyone to feel hurt like that. But it stops you from actually being in the flow and responding to actual energies, because sometimes people are leaving themselves out. Sometimes people don't want to be included. Sometimes it's not that good for other people to be included, and they need to learn to include themselves in what they want. This is about you learning to stop that automatic response to be the one that includes everyone, involves everyone, brings everyone into it. No, it's coming from a wounded place from yourself. It's you that needs to be included. In other words, it's a bit selfish. It's a bit selfish doing that. It's you that wants to be included. I get it. It seems altruistic. This is your guide saying it's not always the best thing for everyone, and it's not always the best thing for you. So when you feel like just like including someone, bringing them along, inviting them, being the one that rallies everyone together, that connecting kind of a person, saying like, just stop yourself and ask yourself, like, is this really the best for me? Because there's something that's not good about it for you. It's asking you to ask what's underneath that, and it's something about you. It's something that needs to be healed within you. It's just about you not being included in the past. But if you're feeling good overall, like by far majority of the time you're feeling good, that is emotional feedback that you're doing the right thing. If you kind of feel good because you're kind of a bit of a martyr in the moment that you include somebody, but then you end up not having a good time, that not having a good time is your emotional feedback that what you've done. See, we can go with the flow and things can all work out and it's all great. We can hinder that flow by asserting our own will in there. It's like, no, I want you to come along to this. And we kind of swimming against the current, and we get negative emotional effects from that. So be a little bit more selfish will actually be good for everyone else. And stop yourself when you feel that urge to include other people, just because you're that person that does that, and ask yourself instead, what's behind that? I mean, it's really something for me. It's something that I want. What is it that I truly want? Yeah, ask yourself that. What is it that I truly want? Why am I doing that seemingly for them when it's something that I want? Because none of us are here to be that altruistic person. We're here to live balanced lives. And sometimes we can give ourselves that role, and it's usually from wounding that we've experienced ourselves. We give ourselves that role. It's like, I'm going to be this person. Like for me, I remember like distinctly having the thought and saying it to other people too. I want to be the mother for people that don't have a mother. I wanted to foster kids, even though I had three of my own. I wanted to be that for other people. I was being that for other people too. And then it hit me. It's me that doesn't have a mother. I'm the orphan. I'm the one that, like, I had counseling, and she asked me about like the concept of mother and all words about that, like nurturing and, just all the concepts around mother. And then she asked me about my mum, and I told her about my mum. And after I told her the story about my mum, she said, she pulled out, she'd written all of these things on a big poster that I'd said about mother, and she's like, now let's go through these again. Is your mum any of these things? I'm like, no, she's none of those things. And she's like, okay, so your mum, she's given birth to you, right? She's not your mother. You don't have a mother. You don't have someone that is these things. She was never those things to you. She's not a mother. And it's like, damn, you're right. You're right. It's like, oh, it's me that doesn't have a mother. So I had to start mothering myself, That urge to be everyone else's mom was about me. It was me that needed a mother. I need to do it for myself. And it really sets us free when we find out stuff like that, when we realize, like, oh, it's about me, it's not about them. So there you go. Thanks for your donations, Lisa and Julia. Anyone else? Suzanne, check out the pinned comment. Everyone else, check out the pinned comment. If you want a mini read, it's by donation. Check out the pinned comment. That tells you how to do it. There's a PayPal link in that pinned comment. I'll do it. You can use Super Sticker here on YouTube if that's easier for you as well. 3 readings of your story today. There will be another pick a card readout of how they feel about you. That's coming out later today as well. So check that out. Age doesn't matter. More of the stage of your life matters, I'd say, rather than age itself. Maturity and stages of life. Age matters with respect to that, I'd say, for a relationship. But then, you could be, we're not all in the same stages of life at the same ages. Do you know what I mean? It's like some people never want to have kids. Well, you might be okay with someone that's much older that can't have kids, right? If that's you. And so you might be in the same stage of life even though a different age. But if you don't want any more kids and you've had kids, and then you're going out with someone younger that wants kids, you're in a different stage of life. Then the age difference matters. So sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't matter. It just depends. And it's not just about kids either. There's all different stages that we go through in wisdom and stuff like that, I guess. So it depends. Depends about the age thing. And I think as you get older, age matters less. But even so, wisdom tends to come at certain ages, doesn't it? It depends what you want, really. Just giving you guys a chance to get those donations. If anyone's putting a donation in at the moment, let me know. Just say in the comments, because I'll stick around. But otherwise, I'm out of here. Is anyone wanting to get one of those mini reads? Are you doing your donations now or no? I've got some more coffee back, because there's a bit of a delay on this. There's a bit of a lag time, so I can't ask a question and you reply instantly. I think you're about 10 seconds later. So I'll get myself some more coffee. If you are putting a donation in, just give me a comment now so that I will stick around. Otherwise, I'm out of here. I will not be doing cafe on Friday because I'm going to the dentist tomorrow. I won't be back. I'll still be on another island. Hopefully not in too much pain. At least I'm only getting one tooth done this time and not 5 like last time. That was too much last time. And hopefully I can eat and I won't just be on my liquid diet again. I think. Nobody getting a mini read? Okay. I'll just check PayPal again. No. Okay, well, thanks everyone for coming along. And have a great rest of your week and weekend as well. Check out my YouTube channel. There will be a pick a card read, which is how they feel about you, because I already made it. And I'm going to make another one today, which I'll put out on Friday. But I won't be here for cafe on Friday morning. Wait until you go home to get the front tooth done. Yeah, that dentist is great. Oh, I'm getting a filling replaced as well. An old mercury filling finally coming out because it's cracked. So that's good. Glad I'm getting it done. Just the start. So that's another 3 months of dental work. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see you next time.